कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं कौनयाति पराङ्गतिं यत्पिबं सततं रामचरितामृतासागरम् अदृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषं गोष्पदीकृतवारासं मसकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामालारत्नं वन्दे अनिलात्मजम् अंजनानंदनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीसमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् आमिषीकृतमार्ताण्डं गोष्पदीकृतसागरं तृणीकृतदशग्रीवम् आञ्जनेयं नमाम्यहम् उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धोः यस्तोकवह्निं जनकात्मजायाः आदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्कां नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पौमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमद राक्षसान्तकं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि यः कर्णाञ्जलिसम्पुटैः हरः सम्यक् पिबत्यादरात् वाल्मीकिर्वदनारविन्दगलितं रामायणाख्यं मधुः जन्मव्याधिजराविपत्तिमरणैः अत्यन्तसोपद्रवं संसारसह विहाय गच्छति पुमान् विष्णोर्पदं शाश्वतं तदुपगतसमाससन्धियोगं सममधुरोपनतार्धवाक्यबद्धं रघुवरचरितं मुनिप्रणीतं दशशिरसश्च वदं निशामयध्वं वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूतानां रामसागरगामिनि पुनातु भुवनं पुण्यात् रामायणं महानदी श्लोकसारसमाकीर्णं सर्गकल्लोलसङ्कुलं काण्डग्राह्यमहामीनं वन्दे रामायणार्णवम् वेदवेदे परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजं वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना वैदेही सहितं सुरुद्रमुतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्य परं वाक्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं वामे भूमिसुता पुरश्च हनुमान् पाश्चात् सुमित्रासुतः शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वदलयोः वायव्यादिकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च युवराट् तारासुतो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नीलसरोजकोमलरुचिं रामं भजे श्यामलम् माता रामो मत्पिता रामो भ्राता रामो मत्सखा राघवेशः सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयालु नन्यदेवं नैव जाने न जाने साकेते शरदिन्दुकुन्दधवले सौदे महामण्डपे पर्यस्ता अगरधूपदीपललिते कर्पूरदीपोज्ज्वले सुग्रीवाङ्गदजाम्बवत् परिवृतं सौमित्रिणा सेवितं लीलामानुषविग्रहं रघुवरं रामं भजे श्यामलं मेघश्यामं महाबाहुं स्थिरसत्त्वं दृढव्रतं कदा द्राक्ष्यामहे रामं जगतः शोकनाशनं जयत्यतिबलो रामो लक्ष्मणश्च महाबलः राजा जयति सुग्रीवा राघवेण विपालितः दासोऽहं कौसलेन्द्रस्य रामस्य क्लिष्टकर्मणः हनुमान् शत्रुसैन्यानां निहन्तां मारुतात्मजः न रावणसहस्रं मे युद्धे प्रतिबलं भवेत् शिलाभिस्तु प्रहत्तारपादपैश्च सहस्रशः अर्धयित्वां पुरीं लङ्काम् अभिवाद्यश्च मैथिलीं समृद्धार्दो गमिष्यामि विश्रां सर्वराक्षसां धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यदि पौरुषे च अप्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरयेन जहि रावणीं नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामे नमस्ते सरस्वते देवगौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् तपस्वाध्याय निरतां तपस्विं वाग्विदाम्बरं नारदपरिपप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिर्मुनिपुङ्गवम् ओं रामाय नमः हरे कृष्ण. Last week we have seen how Hanuman came back and narrated all the incidents from Lanka to Ramachandra, and we have witnessed how he had given assurance to Sita that he would bring back Rama and Lakshmana to Lanka, and then how she would be able to see Rama Pattabhishekam by sitting next to Ramachandra on the throne of Ayodhya. And that's when we did the Pattabhishekam, and then we have seen that. And today we'll start Yuddhakanda. The purpose of Ramavatara is for this reason, to come into Yuddhakanda and to kill Ravana. That was the purpose of Ramavatara. And beyond this, the doctrine of surrenderance and grace will be preached by Rama at the beginning of Yuddhakanda. We have seen peaks in every episode of Ramayana. In Balakanda, Rama's birth and Sita Rama Kalyanam, those are two incidents in Tatakavada, which give pleasure to the devotees. And then in Ayodhya Kanda, Paduka Pattabhishekam. And in Aranyakanda, we have seen how Rama kills Viradha and also how he meets so many sages. And of course, Sita Paharana. And the humorous episode of Surpanaka and her dealings with Ramachandra. And then in Kishkinda Kanda, Valivadha and also searching for Sita, Sita-Anveshana, the enterprise of searching Sita was launched. And then in Sundarakanda, the entire Kanda is beautiful because within Sundarakanda is narrated so many times. Just like Ramayana is recited many times within Ramayana. And then comes Yuddhakanda. And then it's the epitome of the Lord's mercy is shown in Yuddhakanda in the form of his doctrine of surrenderance and grace when he shelters Vibhishana. Okay. Today we'll see that how it proceeds. When Hanuman came back from Lanka, he went to Ramachandra and then he narrated all the incidents. Now Rama is responding back to Hanuman. He says, only 3 people can do what was accomplished by Hanuman. Garuda, Vayu and this Hanuman himself. Except these 3, none can jump across this ocean of 100 yojanas and reach Lanka. Hanuman has accomplished a great task and he has given me utmost satisfaction and happiness. There are 3 kinds of servants. A servant who exceeds beyond the orders of the master, he is the foremost of all servants. And a servant who does exactly what was said by the master is a mediocre servant. And a servant, in spite of having capability, if he does not follow the masters of the orders of the master, then he is the lowest among all servants. Rama tells this in Yuddhakanda. And at this time, when Hanuman had delivered me such great pleasure, I am here in such an unfortunate situation where I cannot give Hanuman anything. But at this time and place, all I have to give Hanuman is my embrace. And then so he clasped Hanuman's hand, drew him near, and then he embraced him tightly. And Rama uttered all these words. Rama uttered, his satisfaction in pregnant words to Hanuman. And Hanuman was also pleased. And then Rama asked Hanuman, my dear Hanuman, how did you see Sita? How is she? Tell me all the details about Lanka. Because now the time of war has come. I want to know the details of Lanka so that I can plan a strategy to defeat this Lanka. Then Hanuman explained, my dear Lord, when I reached Lanka, there were 4 big gates, huge gates. When I say huge, they are huge, really huge. It's not like the doors that we see. Those huge ramparts of Lanka, and then they were surrounded with those fortified walls, and then they had 4 huge gates. And then those huge gates were locked by huge beams. I mean, they have a horizontal beam, a locking mechanism. And these ramparts were connected very well. And Lanka was surrounded by deep ocean all around. Yes, Lanka was an island. It was surrounded by a fathomless ocean. And within Lanka, this city is located on the hill of Trikuta. And then, once you get onto that hill, there is this huge rampart wall. And then that wall is also surrounded by a deep moat in which there are a lot of alligators, crocodiles, and other kinds of amphibians. And they are very deep. All those moats are very deep. And there are drawbridges on these moats. Drawbridges are, you put the bridge when you know the person, and when it is an enemy, you lift the bridge so that the enemy army will fall into those moats and then they will be killed by the crocodiles. And adjacent to these huge doors, they are fitted with Shatagnis. Shatagnis are, they are machinery equipped with huge arrows. Those arrows are in 4 arm lengths, 4 forearm lengths. Like, if this is a forearm length, they are of, 4 forearms. That means at least, let's say 12 feet. In those days, one forearm used to be 3 feet or so. Rama is 8 feet in height. So 4 forearms length Shatagnis. They are called Shatagnis because if you shoot that arrow, it passes through 100 people. So that's why they are called Shatagnis. So all these doors are fitted with machinery which can shoot Shatagnis, thousands of Shatagnis into the army and kill them. And then 10,000 Rakshasas guard the northern gate, 100,000 guard the southern gate, and 100 crore guard the western gate. Like that, there are numbers. All these, so many Rakshasas guard the gates of Lanka. But my dear Lord, do not worry. I have destroyed a part of the army. Hanuman is too modest to say. He destroyed maybe more than half of the army by the time, Rama's army reached Lanka. He says, I destroyed a part of the army. So do not worry. I have destroyed one of the drawbridges also. And I have set fire onto the 1,000-pillared gymnasium. So like that, Hanuman explained all his exploits in Lanka. And Rama was very happy. Then at the same time, he was a little dejected. When can I see Sita? Sita might have been terrified by the ogresses. She might have been emaciated because of fasting. And then he lamented. Then Sugriva came back. He told Rama, my dear Rama, you should abnegate this unhappiness. And also now you should be cheerful. Kshatriyas will accomplish tasks only when they are cheerful. Get up, my lord. If I, monkey, can withstand so much sorrow, you are the lord of humans. You are Jagannatha, Lokanatha Sikhamane. You should be able to tolerate all this pain and agony. Get up, my lord, and you can cross this ocean. And look at Hanuman and look at all these Vanara forces. They can jump across the ocean, get into Lanka and destroy all the Rakshasas very quickly under your guidance. Please get up. Then Rama again, he took courage and he got up. The Lord's lamentation is bewildering for most of the audience. Like how come Ramachandra laments and but it's just the pastime of the Lord, and it shows how the Lord suffers when a single soul is lost through sin. So that shows the Lord's heart. He's so merciful. So and then when Rama gets up and then he decides an auspicious hour. He tells to Sugriva, my dear Sugriva, I can see all the good omens right now. I can see that the Hasta Falguni planet is approaching the Hasta Nakshatra tomorrow. See, today looking at the stars, he's telling what happens in astrology tomorrow. He's telling the Falguni star will approach the Hasta Nakshatra tomorrow. So this is an auspicious hour. And I see the sun at the highest point. It's Abhijit Lagna. So it was right around the time of afternoon this incident was happening. So Rama embraced Hanuman during the time of Abhijit Lagna. And then he tells, this is, sun is at the highest point. So this is the right time to start. Let's start all the forces, mobilize all the forces right now. And he tells, okay, Gaja, Gavaya, Gavaksha, you lead the army from the front. Just like a bull leads a herd of cows. And then he calls Neela, the son of fire god. He tells Neela, my dear Neela, you go in front of our army, taking a battalion of Vanara forces with you and clear all the forests and take care of all the water bodies that are on our path. The enemies can hide in all those ditches and in the thickets of forests, and they can also poison the lakes and rivers on our way. So you go in front and clear all these obstacles for us. So even in those days, Rama exhibits the strategies that Kshatriyas employ, that enemies poisoning the water bodies and things like that. So Neela, you go forward and take care of it. And Gaja, Gavaya and Gavaksha, you all lead from the front. And then he calls Rishabha, another Vanara, and tells Rishabha, you guard the army on the right side. And he calls, Vegadarshi, Jambavan, Panasa and Vegadarshi, you guard the army in the middle portion. On the right side, Gandhamadana. On the right side, Gandhamadana, who is the son of Kuvera, guards the army. Rama tells Gandhamadana to guard the left side of the army. Right side was Rishabha. And then the middle portion was guarded by Jambavan, Panasa, and Vegadarshi. And Rama himself was mounted on Hanuman, and he called Lakshmana to mount on Angada. And Sugriva and other Vanaras, they guard the army from behind. So this entire army, making loud noises, crying out victory to Ramachandra, they proceeded towards Lanka. And some of the Vanaras, Sushena, Vegadarshi, and some other Vanaras, they were cheering the other forces, saying, forward, forward, like, move on, move on. When there is a huge army and battalion, they slow down, right? So some of the Vanaras took the charge of making the Vanara army proceed faster. And some of the Vanaras, they broke all the cliffs and stones, and then they started hurling them into the sky. And then they started playing with those stones. And some of the Vanaras threw other Vanaras ahead of the army. And then some other Vanaras threw these Vanaras ahead of the army. Like that, they were jumping, rolling, playing. Some Vanaras plucked the trees, and then they held it as an umbrella, and then they started walking. Some Vanaras, they were shouting victory to Ramachandra. Whenever they come close to Ramachandra, they said, killing Ravana is nothing for us. Ravana will be dead in an instant. Like that, I will kill Ravana with my thighs. Like that, they started boasting whenever Rama came close. So, they were trying to impress Ramachandra. The Vanaras were, they were honest, they were innocent, but at the same time, you can see, because when Kumbhakarna came, when they saw the gigantic Kumbhakarna, they started to run away. Then Angada went behind them and said, you fools, shameless fellows, come back. Then the Vanaras replied back, Angada, there was a time until when we should wage a war, and we waged the war. This is the time when we should run away. That's why we are running away. Then Angada again drew them back. But anyway, these Vanaras, whenever Rama came in the front, they said, that Ravana, we'll kill Ravana, he's nothing, like that, to impress Rama. And Rama was listening to them, and he was satisfied. As I said, kadanchid upakarena kritena ekena tushyati nasmaratyapakaranam shatamapi atmavattayah. If you do one good deed to Ramachandra, he remembers it, and he feels happy time and again. Oh, he has done me this, like that. If you do one wrong deed towards him, he would not count it. But I don't know why he put Karuna's daughter in jail. But we'll see. But then, when the Vanaras proceeded forward, they reached Sahyadri. They saw the mountain Sahya. And then the army was stationed at Sahyadri and Malaya. They crossed Sahya and Malaya mountains, and then they went and they reached Sahyadri. There, Lakshmana said, my dear brother, I see all good omens around. Victory is ours. I see the Visakha constellation shining brightly, which is the constellation of our Ikshvakus, our ancestors. And the Mula Nakshatra is approached by a comet. Mula Nakshatra is a nakshatra of the Titans, that means Rakshasas. That itself tells me that the Rakshasas will be destroyed. And look at the pleasant breeze. And look at all these trees with laden fruit. The monkeys are enjoying so many fruits. Arjuna, Bilva, Patala, Nipa, Kovidara, mango. So many kinds of fruits were mentioned here at this point. Ramayana is beautiful. What all fruits you haven't heard of, you can read in Ramayana. The flora and fauna that Valmiki describes right from the beginning of the epic to the end is amazing. Some people, the Westerners, say that these are epics written by people. They try to enforce this kind of thought in our head. But look at all the epics that are written recently. They don't have anything else other than the story. They don't deal with administrative affairs. They don't deal with astrology. They don't deal with astronomy. They don't deal with any other kind of science or flora or fauna, nothing. They just create some kind of stupid creatures, and then they run the story around them, right? So, but Ramayana, it envelopes many sciences, canon of missile sciences, astrology, astronomy, and botany, and many other sciences. So that's the grandness of Ramayana. But anyway, So here Lakshmana tells, and then the constellation of the Saptarshi Mandala is shining brightly around Dhruva Nakshatra. So the story of Dhruva happened even before Treta Yuga. Uttanapada, his son Dhruva, they were all in another Mahayuga. So Lakshmana tells all these auspicious signs, and he tells, brother, we will certainly win the war. And Rama also tells that my right hand is also throbbing, and my eyelids are also throbbing, right eye is also throbbing, twitching. So that tells me, and my heart is pleasant, and that tells me that all these signs are auspicious for us, and we shall win the war. The destruction of the Rakshasas has come near. But whenever I see this ocean, I get dejected. How am I going to cross all these Vanaras across this ocean? This is why Sita laughed when they built the barge to cross river Yamuna near Chitrakuta. If you remember in Ayodhya Kanda, when Rama builds a barge to cross Yamuna river, Sita laughs. She shyly gets onto the barge because she's thinking, my husband who can cross the entire universe, who can help the entire universe to cross the Samsara Sagara to get into Vaikuntha, is building a barge to cross this Yamuna river. And here, Ramachandra, this is why she laughed. Here again he gets dejected. How am I going to make all these Vanaras cross this ocean? 100 Yojana ocean. Hanuman can jump across it, but what about the other Vanaras? Jambavan 90 Yojanas, he will fall in the ocean. Rishabha 50 Yojanas, he will fall in the ocean. Gandhamadana 10 Yojanas, he will fall in the ocean. How am I going to cross all of them? Rama was dejected. Then Sugriva came forward. This is the greatness of friendship. Whenever you are dejected, a friend will utter a consoling word. He brings courage in you. Sugriva tells, my dear Rama, forget about this 100 Yojana ocean. Don't worry about it. We shall build a bridge across it. And then all these Vanara can be crossed. And as and when they reach the northern shores of Lanka, they start hurling stones against Rakshasas, and they will defeat all the Rakshasa forces in a fraction of a second. Do not worry about it. We have to build a bridge across the ocean. That is the only way we can cross it. So Rama said, okay. And then it was already the twilight. It was getting evening, and then they could see the stars in the sky and then the stars in the ocean. There is no difference between the ocean and the sky. It looked alike. The ocean was filled with rows of waves, and then the sky was filled with rows of clouds. In the night time also you can see clouds in the light of the moon. And those stars are reflected in the ocean. All the Vanaras, they sat around near Sahyadri, and then they watched the amazing ocean in awe and reverence. Then Rama once again felt dejected. When can I meet Sita? They say that time will kill any kind of agony, but my agony is increasing day by day of not having seen Sita. How am I able to survive this long without seeing Sita? Just like a paddy field gets water from another field, right? If you know how crops are cultivated, they wet a paddy field and then they break the boundary to let the water into another patch of land. Just like a paddy field gets water from another patch of land, similarly, just because Hanuman had seen Sita and I knew her whereabouts, I am able to survive this long. But then he cries. Then again Sugriva comes and then he gives him strength. Lakshmana also gives him strength. At that time, Rama, even though he was dejected, he is prepared to do his evening oblations, the Sandhya Vandana. That's Rama. No matter, whatever feelings he had, no matter in whatever distress he is, but the regulatory duties are performed accordingly. And then Rama performed the evening oblations, but at the same time Valmiki Maharshi now takes us to the other end of the ocean. It's night time, so he goes into the Rakshasa palace. What's going on in Lanka? Because Hanuman jumped into Lanka and burnt down half of the Lanka, Actually, when Hanuman burnt Lanka, when he looked at Lanka, he said, not even one patch of Lanka is not burnt. Everything was burnt. So here, Ravana has summoned all his courtiers into his court, all his ministers, other Rakshasas, commander-in-chiefs, and the Rakshasa forces. Now he is addressing them with a dejected face, because for the first time, somebody other than the citizens of Lanka has arrived into Lanka, destroyed Rakshasas, destroyed Lanka, and then again went away in the blink of an eye. And that's why Ravana is worried. He is dejected. Now he calls forth ministers and says, my dear ministers, he is a wise man who consults all his ministers before undertaking any task. What happened to the wisdom of Ravana when he abducted Sita? Did he consult anybody? No. Now he is telling that a wise man consults his ministers, and then a decision drawn out by such consultation, and when all the wise men are satisfied, such decision is an excellent one. Whereas a decision taken by the mutual consensus of the wise men, it is a mediocre one. And a decision that is taken in spite of the dissatisfaction of the wise men, that is the worst decision, that which Ravana took earlier, but he is not pointing out. So he tells, I want to consult with all of you because a Vanara have come here and destroyed the Rakshasa forces. Rama has also arrived at the northern ocean. And his ways are inconceivable. One messenger could destroy our Lanka and forget about what his forces can do, what Rama's forces can do. The enemy here is inconceivable. So give me your advice. Then Prahasta came forward. He is the commander-in-chief of Ravana. He commands 1/3 of the Ravana's army. So Prahasta comes forward and tells Ravana that, my dear Lord, why should you worry about Hanuman? At that time, we were negligent. We were not cautious. That's how the Vanara was able to destroy the forces. But now we are vigilant and watchful. Now we can take care of all the mischievous monkeys. Do not worry about it. We can destroy Rama and Lakshmana together. And then Vajradamstra came forward with a mace that was covered with flesh and blood. Directly, he said, my dear Lord, we should employ a strategy to kill Rama and Lakshmana. Let some of our Rakshasas disguise themselves in the form of human beings, approach Rama and tell him that we are the forces sent by Bharata. Bharata has sent lot of elephants and chariots for your sake. So please proceed to the north and intercept them. And then Rama would believe us and he would proceed in the northern direction. And then our Rakshasas can kill them on the way when they are not vigilant. So this is a plan. How is it? He kind of gave a silly plan to Ravana. And then Mahaparsha came forward and said, we can kill Rama and Lakshmana very easily. We have Indrajit, Kumbhakarna, and you, my lord, you have defeated all the celestials. A lot of computer language deleted. You have defeated many celestials, Kinnaras, Kimpurshas, Nagas, and Gandharvas. Okay, so we should not worry about it. Then Vibhishana came forward and said, my dear Lord, Ravana, all these friends of yours who are advising you to fight Rama, these are enemies in the disguise of friends. Do not listen to them. They are so foolish. How can they think that they can kill Rama? They do not know the strength of Rama. With one arrow, he can destroy the Rakshasa forces. Have you not known in Janasthana how he was single-handedly defeated 14,000 Asuras? Rama knows righteousness. He follows dharma and he is vigilant. Any kind of strategy cannot be employed against him. This kind of Samadhana, Bedo, Dandopaya, all these 4 types of strategies can be employed with an enemy who is not vigilant, and with an enemy who was already defeated, and with an enemy who is already in distress, but not with Rama, who is powerful and who is vigilant and who knows his strength and he follows the dharma always. You cannot employ all these things with Rama. You will be defeated certainly. So listen to my good advice. Then Ravana said, Vibhishana said, it is appropriate for you to give back Sita. Pradiyatam Sita. Dasaradhaya Sita. Like that he said 7 times in this chapter that give Sita to Rama. If you do not give Sita, you along with your kith and kin will be wiped out from Lanka. So like that, give away Sita. He advised Ravana for 7 times. But then Ravana did not listen. It was almost the evening time. He said, okay, let's take it in tomorrow's court. Let's adjourn the court today. Let's go away. This is like any other Indian court. A case goes into there, and then if the judge is not ready to give the decision, okay, let's do it tomorrow. This kind of postponement is, any good advice is given, it should be postponed. In Ravana's court, most of our judicial system is like that nowadays. But anyway, so Ravana said, let's do it tomorrow. And then that night, Vibhishana again, because he is persistent and he is persuasive, so he went again that evening to Ravana's house. There he saw unbroken grain and so many sacrificial items, and the entire hall was filled with agaru and sandalwood and aloe fragrance. And he went inside, and Ravana signaled him to take a chair with his head. If he was in a mood of affection, he would get up and embrace his brother and ask him to sit. But now he knows Vibhishana has come again to lecture me. So he just said, okay, sit down. And then Vibhishana sat down, and she said, my dear brother, there are so many things I need to tell you. Since the time Sita has arrived in Lanka, all the sacrificial ritual fires, even though all the Vedic mantras are uttered properly, still those Vedic fires are not shining brightly. They are shining, they are glowing with flames and sparks, with soot around them, with lot of smoke. That is an inauspicious sign. Yeah, that's an inauspicious sign. That if you see lot of smoke in a yajna, it's an inauspicious sign. So that tells there is an impending danger to Lanka. Please give away Sita for this reason. And since the time Sita has arrived in Lanka, the donkeys, mules and horses began to shed their hair. They are crying. I can see the tears in their eyes. This is an inauspicious sign. He also said, and all the oblations that are gathered for the sacrifice, they are full of ants. This is an inauspicious sign. Please give Sita away. And owls, jackals and certain kind of carnivorous animals are crying loud, and we can see them in front of the city gates roaming freely. This is an inauspicious sign. Give away Sita. Like that, Vibhishana had advised Sita with many words. Ravana with many words. But then Ravana did not listen. He said, my dear brother, don't you know that I am strong? I have defeated Kuvera. I have defeated Yama, Indra, and all such celestials. Do not tell me all this. Sita will never be given. I cannot give Sita away. And then the next day, Ravana again came to court. He mounted on his chariot, which had curtains, meshy curtains full of embedded with jewels and diamonds. And he mounted the chariot, and he came towards his court. And similarly, Indrajit came. Kumbhakarna also came for this meeting. He wakes up only one day in an entire year. 6 months he sleeps, 6 months one day he's awake, and then he will sleep again for 6 months. It's a common practice for elders to say that he sleeps for 6 months and then he's awake for 6 months. But no, Kumbhakarna wakes up only for one day. He sleeps for the rest of the throughout the period of that year. But anyway, right now Kumbhakarna is also there in the court, and Vibhishana also was mounted on a nice chariot, and then he approached the court. Again the same discussion. Ravana tells, I cannot give away that Sita. She has black eyes. And Ravana also here, like a son describes the feet of a mother, he describes the feet of Sita. The feet of Sita are described twice, by Sumantra and by Ravana also. By Sumantra we have heard, Alaktara Sarakta Abhavalaktara Savarjitau Adhyapi Charanau Tasyaha Padmakosa Samaprabhau. Her feet are as if they are painted in vermilion color, but still even though they are not painted with the vermilion color, but still it looks as if it is painted with vermilion color. And that color is as red as a lotus petal. That's the feet of Sita described by Sumantra, the charioteer of Dasaratha. But here Ravana describes that, Supratishthitau. I mean, her feet are, they stand firm on the ground. And I cannot give away that Sita. Like that, he started narrating how attached he is to Sita. But then Mahaparsha, one Rakshasa, got up and he advised Ravana that, why are you lamenting like this, Ravana? By force, why don't you enjoy Sita? Then Ravana said, Mahaparsha, I am much more of an idiot than you. I know all this. But why am I not doing? Because once upon a time when I was going towards the heavens, I saw a damsel called Punjika Sthala. And then I was attracted to her. And then by force, I enjoyed her. But then she went to Brahma and she told what had happened. Then Brahma cursed me that if you ever do this again with any other lady by force without her permission, your head will break into 100 pieces. And that's why I am not approaching Sita. But then I am afraid of Rama now. He will come here and kill all the Rakshasas. But Sita, here Ravana tells, I have given Sita. Sita has asked me for 1 year, 1 year grace period, a period of time. Because he is trying to impress his courtiers that it is Sita who requested the 1 year time, and that's for one reason why we should fight the army of Rama. Otherwise, if Sita doesn't like, what's the point? Even if fighting Rama, if she dies, what's the point in waging the battle? Ravana is lying. He's trying to impress because Kumbhakarna is there. Even Kumbhakarna is a little better among all the Rakshasas. He follows Dharma. So because Kumbhakarna is present here, he tells, because Sita asked for 1 year of grace time, I have to fight this war. You have to help me. And there are 2 more months left. Then Kumbhakarna came forward and said, brother, you should have consulted us before you abducted Sita. But now, after you have done everything on your own whims and fancies, now you come and ask for our help. There is nothing left now other than to wage war against Rama, and you and I and all these Rakshasa forces shall all wage the war. But what you have done is not right. But then Ravana addressed, my dear brother, now it is not the time for any lecture. You should help me now. Then Kumbhakarna said, I will use all my strength and fight those 2 brothers and kill them. Why should you be worried? And he assured, and then he went back. Then Vibhishana came forward again. And he said, my dear brother, even now it is not late. You should give away Sita. But Ravana, Indrajit intercepted this time and said, Vibhishana, you are a disgrace to the Rakshasa race. How can you talk so cowardly? How can you demand my father to give away Sita? Isn't it that I defeated Indra? I also threw Airavata onto the floor, onto the ground. He said he threw Airavata onto the ground and then I pulled the tusks out of Airavata and I defeated Indra. Why should we be afraid? You are talking like a cowardly person. It is not apt of you. Then Vibhishana said, oh boy, you are speaking like an innocent child. And because of such talk, you are worthy of being killed. Vibhishana said that, oh boy, you should be killed. Because if you think that the spark of fire, it's only tiny and leave it, that spark of fire will destroy the entire building or hut or anything. It will set ablaze the entire forest also. So Vibhishana is trying to diminish that kind of a small spark of called Indrajit. But then Ravana also comes back and supports his son and says, my dear Vibhishana, I have no fear from enemies, but it is from my own kith and kin like you. In good old days, they used to tell a story of the elephants. Fire and weapons we do not fear, but it is from the kith and kin we are afraid. Because they make sure that we all end up in chains. So this is the story, Ravana tells a story about the elephants. He says, once upon a time in the forest, the elephants cried that We don't fear any chains or fire or weapons, but it is our own elephants that will make us fall into the trap. That will lead us into the trap, and then that will make us fall into the trap, and we will all get chained. So like that, you in the disguise of a friend, you are an enemy. You are trying to discourage me and also disappoint me. And when Ravana spoke like that, Vibhishana rose up high into the sky, with his mace in hand. And he said, "My dear brother, it is very easy to find a person who talks pleasing words, but it is very difficult to find a person who talks the right words at the right time, even though they cause pain to the heart. And even more difficult it is to find a listener for such kind words." And he said, "My brother, I have told what all I have to as a loving brother. I only want to see you alive. I don't want to see you as a dead person. But now, since you have refused me, I will leave this place. I am going away. May you be well with all your kith and kin. May glory to you. I shall go away." Vibhishana said this and took up a mace, and then he left. He rose high into the sky. And then on the northern shore, the Vanara chieftains saw a glowing glory in the sky. It was as glorious as a lightning, but it was too steady to be a lightning. Like Mount Meru, the 5 Rakshasas, along with Vibhishana came 4 more Rakshasas: Anala, Panasa, Sampati and Pramathi. These are the associates of Vibhishana. They all came to the northern shore. And then and Sugriva saw Vibhishana and all the Rakshasas, and he said to Hanuman, looking at Hanuman, he said, "Gather all the forces and be ready. I see 5 Rakshasas. They come from the enemy camp. They are here to destroy us, and be prepared for the war." And Vibhishana looked around and he said, "Soham parshitastena dasavacha avamanitaha tyaktva putramsya dharamsya." Says, "I have been insulted, thrown away from the kingdom. I come here, having renounced my wife, my children, my kingdom, all that belongs to me. Raghavam sharanam gataha. I am here to take shelter of Raghava." And he tells it to Sugriva. And he continues, "Nivedayatamam kshipram Raghavaya mahatmane sarvaloka saranyaya Vibhishana upastitam." He tells to Sugriva that, "Nivedayatamam kshipram. Please tell immediately to Rama that Vibhishana has arrived here to seek shelter of Ramachandra. Raghavaya mahatmane sarvaloka saranyaya Vibhishana upastitam." And here there is an anecdote that Velukudi Krishnan says that when Vibhishana came, he was holding the gada like this, with folded hands. He says that, where did Vibhishana learn gada yuddha? Because he is holding in such a way, this is the only pose with which you can defeat Rama. He was holding it like this. This is the only pose with which Rama can be defeated. So where did Vibhishana learn this gada yuddha? It's an anecdote though. So when Vibhishana said this, Sugriva ran towards Rama and said, "My dear Lord, the brother of famous Ravana, Vibhishana has come here. He seeks your shelter. But my Lord, I am afraid you will provide your shelter. Please do not. The Rakshasa from the enemy camp should not be entered. I think Vibhishana is fit for arrest. So let's arrest him." Then Rama came forward and said, "My dear Vanaras, here comes the brother of Ravana, Vibhishana. Should we take him to our camp or not? I would like to listen to all your opinions. Please come forward and tell your opinions one by one." Then first Angada came and he said, "My dear Lord, he is certainly from the enemy camp, so he cannot be trusted immediately. So let's test him first and then take him into the camp." And then Mainda said, "Let's send a spy and then check him and then take him into the camp." And then Sushena said, "Let's ask through question and answer, let's find out what his intentions are and then take him into the camp." Then Jambavan said, "My dear Lord, Vibhishana has arrived at this point at a wrong place and a wrong time." Because Jambavan has read all the scriptures and shastras. So he said, he came here at a wrong place and at a wrong time. So we cannot take him into our camp. Then Hanuman replied, "My dear Lord, I am speaking because you have asked me to speak. not because I am trying to compete or impress or trying to undermine the opinions of others. But because you have asked me to speak, I shall speak. But who can explain to you any matter? Because you are like Brahaspati, you are the learned, you know everything. But because of your mercy, you have asked us to speak. So I will speak. I am afraid here that the suggestions that are given by your Vanara chiefs are improper in this time and place. One of the Vanara chieftains said that we should test Vibhishana. How can one test any person? Because if he has come with a malicious intention, you cannot give him a task to do it. Right? Unless you give a task, you cannot test a person. And it is too early to give a task to entrust to Vibhishana. Right now we cannot entrust it to Vibhishana. For this reason, that proposal is impractical. And some of the Vanara chiefs have said to send a spy and test Vibhishana. That is also impractical. And some of the Vanaras have advised to question Vibhishana. But how can a person with deceitful intentions, if you question, he would not answer truthfully. And even if he doesn't have any such deceitful intentions, if you start to question, he will be afraid that you are trying to question his integrity and he might answer in a different tone. And his true feelings cannot be found, even with that aspect. So even that is impractical. And our good old Jambavan has said that it is a wrong time and place for Vibhishana to come and take shelter. Why is it so? I think this is the right time and right place for anybody to take your shelter. Isn't it that Vibhishana have decided that Ravana is unworthy? He is not righteous, and he has seen your courage, your strength and your righteousness and decided to take your shelter. Even for this reason, it is the right place and right time. And after pondering all these matters, I conclude that Vibhishana should be taken into the camp. His face is peaceful, his eyebrows are not quivering, and his voice is pleasant. I can see no disguise in Vibhishana. So you should shelter Vibhishana. This is my opinion. Hanuman did not say that when I was in Lanka, Vibhishana tried to help me. He didn't say anything of it. He just said, based on that situation, you should take Vibhishana into the camp. Then Rama was also happy because his opinion coincided with the opinion of a friend, of a dear friend. So Rama said to Sugriva, if anybody comes to me with the intention of friendship, even let it be, it is with a deceitful intention, still I will give shelter to them. Then Vibhishana said, my dear Lord, out of kindness you are speaking like this, but how can a brother who has abandoned his own brother will not abandon us at the time of peril? It is the time of peril for Ravana, and Vibhishana has abandoned his own brother. How can we trust him? He might abandon us also at the time of peril. Then Rama looked around and smiled at Lakshmana. Sugriva is talking about abandoning a brother. I have killed his brother Vali. But that's not the intention. But then Rama says again, one who has not read all the Shastras cannot speak like Sugriva. And one who is not trained by elders, Vriddhan Anupasevyacha. He says, one who has not served elders cannot speak like Sugriva. Because Sugriva is speaking out of his love for Rama. He tells, my dear Sugriva, you have spoken rightfully, but let me tell you, among the Kshatriyas, in the royal families, there are dissensions among family members also. Even for that reason, Vibhishana should be accepted. There could be a dissension between Vibhishana and Ravana. And in Kshatriyas, there is a lot of trouble coming from kith and kin. They are always vigilant about their own brothers. And even for that reason, Vibhishana should be accepted. And Vibhishana is not my family member. And he has come here to seek my shelter. And even for that reason, he should be given shelter. And he should be accepted into our camp. But my dear Sugriva, Sage Kandu, who is son of Sage Kanva, he has said that if a person comes in front of you with hallowed palms and begs for your shelter, you should shelter him, no matter what, even if he comes with a malicious intention. and I follow the excellent words of sage Kandu, and that's for one reason I will give shelter to Vibhishana. Once upon a time, it is said that a dove or a pigeon, it gave its own flesh to a hunter. Rama tells a story here that there were two pigeons, and one of the female pigeon was killed by a hunter. And then the same hunter comes back again in another rainy season, and then he gets no food, so he is shivering in cold under the tree of that pigeon, and he lights a fire, to keep himself warm. And then the male pigeon that is on the tree, he thinks that the hunter is his guest. He has come for his refuge. So he jumps from the tree and falls into the fire and kills itself and offers itself as food to the hunter. What if a pigeon, a simple bird, have done this? What to expect from a man like me, who is the prince of Ayodhya? So I should give shelter to Vibhishana. Above all these things, my friend, I tell you my policy and my religion. Sakrideva prapannaya tava asmi iti cha yachate abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadami etad vratam mama. Tells, if any persons come in front of me and he tells me that I am yours, that for that person I offer protection from all kinds of living entities. And this is my religion. Know this, O Sugriva. And he also tells that forget about Vibhishana. Even you, Vibhishana, or let Ravana himself come in front of me. I have already offered my protection to everybody. Now he said the surrenderance, the shelter is already given. The ball is in the court of the seeker of the shelter. I have already given my shelter. It is up to them to come and beg shelter from me. I will forgive anybody and take them into my camp, no matter what. It's already given. When Rama said this, Sugriva replied, my dear Lord, we can clearly see how dharma stands out demonstrated when you speak. May Vibhishana also enjoy the same friendship that we are enjoying. I will go and fetch Vibhishana, he tells, and then he goes to fetch Vibhishana. Here, a very important word, Rama says, Tava Asmi. If you know the Mahavakyas, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Tattvamasi, and what is the other one? Aham Brahmasmi. All the four Mahavakyas given in the Upanishads from the Vedas. Says Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahman. Ayamatma Brahma, the self is Brahman. Tattvamasi, thou art that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. All these four Mahavakyas. They think that I am Brahman in the sense I am God. But the Vedas clearly say Brahman is different from Parabrahma. And here comes a greater Mahavakya from Ramayana, Tava Asmi. You should say, I am yours. I am not Brahman, Tattvamasi, or Prajnanam Brahma, or I am Atma Brahma. Tava Asmi, I am yours. I am Rama's. I am Krishna's. I belong to the Lord. Vedas say I am Brahman in the sense, they differentiate between Brahma and Parabrahma. Brahman is the self, the soul. So, okay, I am the soul, you realize it, but what after that? It's not important, it's not great that if you realize I am the soul, I am not this body. That's not enough. You should realize to whom this soul belongs, that belongs to the Lord. If you pray Him in that tone, that's when you are complete. So that's why we say the prayer in the front of, in the beginning of Ramayana. Veda Vede Pare Bhumsi Jate Dasaratmatmajam Vedaha Prachetasa Dasit Sakshad Ramayana Atmana. When the son of Dasaratha walked on this planet, when the essence of Vedas walked on this planet as the son of Dasaratha, Vedas themselves became Ramayana. They talk about all these four Mahavakyas, but Ramayana encompasses all these Mahavakyas, and then it also proposes a further Mahavakya, that is Tava Asmi, I am yours. And with that, we conclude the Vibhishana Saranagati. Next week, we will continue further, because at 6 o'clock we have a program by two Mahatmas, Radhanath Swami and Indrajumna Swami. So we'll conclude it here. I'll take any questions here. Any questions? Yeah.
So, forget his name. So one said it is not the right time for Vibhishan, not right time for the Vibhishan and his team to.
Jambavan says that. Yeah.
Jamban said.
Yeah.
And he he was saying per his Vedic knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
While Hanuman said, no, this is the right time.
It's the interpretation. Jambavan says it's the wrong time and wrong place because already Rama had decided to wage the war and he has come there. At that point, he's on the northern shore. If at all Vibhishana had to break up, he should have broke up when Ravana had abducted Sita. Not at this point when war is imminent, right? If he had broken up long ago, then there is no doubt, okay, even before we decided to wage a war, Vibhishana is here. But now we have decided to wage a war, now he comes, now it's in a few days we'll be fighting. But at this time, we cannot trust anybody. That's the reason why it is a wrong time, in Jambavan's perspective. Yeah. And wrong place, because, he's about to cross the, ocean. So, he's almost on the southern tip. He's nearing with all the multitude of monkeys and, he has already gathered forces. So, at this time and place, it is wrong. So, Jambavan comes from a different perspective of the Vedas. This counsel is what is important, because here Rama goes beyond the right policy. Testing the one who has come to surrender is right policy. You take all the counsel of your ministers. Then what is right policy? Should we take him or not? Should we test him or not? These are all in the protocols of the Kshatriya. But Rama goes beyond that right policy because of his nature and his personality and his nature and nurture. And he was nurtured like that. So he tells, beyond all these things, this is my religion. I protect no matter whoever it is. Let it be Ravana himself. I have given the shelter. If he seeks shelter, I have given him. So Rama goes beyond that. This comes in the right policy. So Jambavan, Mainda, Angada, they have all spoken right in their own sense. They have spoken from various perspectives of the right policy that is prescribed in the Shastras. But Rama goes beyond them. So Jambavan was also right. But Hanuman, having known, he has more insight into Vibhishana because he has seen him in Lanka and his nature. So he goes further and supports Vibhishana. Yeah.
And one time you said like every page of the Lanka was destroyed.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess I heard that there was a Vibhishan's home that was
left out.
Vibhishan's
home was left out.
Right?
Yeah. Vibhishana's home. Hanuman hears it from Siddhacharanas, the divine radio, the broadcasters of that time. They tell that Vibhishana's palace is not destroyed, and the tree under which Sita is there, even that tree was not destroyed. Everything else is destroyed. What they meant is, wherever you have a devotee's heart, that place is Ayodhya. So even in Lanka, the heart of Vibhishana and wherever Sita was there, those places are Ayodhya. The remaining everything is Lanka. So in that sense, Lanka was destroyed. Every patch of Lanka is destroyed. Yeah. Actually, when in Yuddhakanda further, when the Vanaras come, they see a portion of the Lanka that was destroyed by Hanuman. Some of the walls, being burnt. They see those signs. By the time they might have built and fortified, whatever was destroyed. So, yeah. Any more questions? Hare Krishna. Mangalam Koslendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam.